Hello, hello. Thank you for joining me. What an amazing event this is. I've never been a part of a virtual event, and this is a great experience. And if you haven't heard from us, we are Green and Shy. We are Chicago's network. We provide a platform of opportunity. And what we're going to be talking about is the opportunity through networking to get the connections that you need to really thrive and get either job placement, start a business, even get the resources you need. Because let's face it, in Illinois, there's about 5 million applicants waiting on 75 licenses. So let's get through this. We're going to split it up into two sections. Being that even us, Green and Shy, who had an amazing panel discussion in March, March 7th, actually, I was talking with Sparky there, and it seems like just yesterday we had 300 people at a great event. And now we have no clue when that's going to happen. So, being that, let's benefit from the resources that are available. So, I'm going to split it into networking as it was before, as well as what to do now to network. I mean, it's a digital world, and I'm even going to give you a couple tools. And if you guys invite me, I'm going to show you how to set up your own virtual event at the end. 3 simple steps and giving you a tool to invite people as well. So, let's get into it. Now, with networking, you really gotta understand what the value of it is, right? So we're gonna do a variety of things. I'm gonna talk to you just straight up and show you some cool things along the way. But when you have to, really think about networking, it's about conceptualizing what you want out of it. And the biggest thing about it is you have to get uncomfortable. I'm a strong believer about getting uncomfortable to grow. If you don't try new things, if you don't do things that make you kind of nervous, you're never going to get better. You're never going to grow. So you have to understand that, because unfortunately, I mean, being someone that hosts with my team, networking events that are 300-400 people large and seeing a lot of people benefit, it's a good 30% that are just there for the fun and drinking, which is fine as well. But you have to know what your purpose is there. And this is for the 70% that are there for a purpose, not just the ones that enjoy our events, which we're glad to have as well. But there's really 3 categories that we can touch base on: learning about what the industry is about, job search, and the business sector. I'm going to touch briefly on the first 2 because they're pretty straightforward, but the business side has many layers. And when you're getting into the industry, that's one of the best ways to really understand where your place is, especially, for instance, the cannabis industry. You have so many options. You don't even have to touch the beautiful flower of cannabis to get involved with the industry. There's logistics, the security, or some of the things that we're involved with, like the cannabis banking or the merchant processing or the sales or the job search. There's so many different angles to get involved, and it's really understanding what you want to do. So the first thing when you're learning about something is, with all of these, it's being straightforward. Going to a networking event can be nervous, but if you don't state your purpose, if you're not saying, hey, yeah, I'm really curious into cultivation and learning about how to do this and that, I'm looking for a job, and in fact, how are people gonna know how to help you, right? And that's the key point. Just be straightforward. You're more than likely, I mean, unless you go to these things regularly, which is another key factor, but you're more than likely meeting strangers. And strangers, in my mind, are just friends you haven't met yet, right? Or connections you don't know yet. And that's why when you're going out there, why not start off fresh and telling them exactly what you're looking for? Whether you're looking for a job, tell them what your background is. Tell them what you just accomplished. Use examples. Hey, I just came from Colorado. I'm looking for a new opportunity in Illinois. This is where I grew up. I just finished college. I'd love to get into cultivation. Do you know anyone in that? What's wrong with that? Unfortunately, no one will say that, and they'll beat around the bush. So being direct is key, getting uncomfortable, right? But also asking. I mean, America is great because, we all have opinions, but we all like helping each other, and genuine people are the ones you want to meet anyways, right? So the first thing is also asking for help. Do not be that naive person that thinks they're the top of the mountain and haven't even accomplished anything and not ask for help. It's going to take you 20 times as long to accomplish your goals. And that's the whole thing about this industry. It's a beautiful industry because we're all working together to make sure that it succeeds as a whole. Okay. So when you're in the industry to learn, Plain and simple, just ask for exactly what you're looking for, because the beauty of networking is that people want to connect you. In fact, that is the first rule. Okay. When you go to networking, whether you're looking for a job or you're looking for business, never pitch. Don't pitch what you're doing. Like I said, it's better to talk and learn how to connect others to people before even asking, because networking is establishing mutually beneficial relationships. And that is actually the best way to gain trust. If you connect someone with someone that you met at that event or someone else, they're going to remember you regardless of what you're looking for, because everyone remembers favors, not people that want things, right? In fact, it's quite leaning towards that way. So just remember that, okay? Now, when you're looking for jobs, it's important to understand what you're looking for. Are you at a space where you're ready to jump in a career? You can say, I did this, and that, because if you are, that's great. But start off by saying some of the activities that you did, not just saying, I'm looking for, this and that, which is the biggest mistake, just asking for a job. Talk about your careers. Talk about something that's interesting that someone can relate to, something like, I just helped 10 people through the application process. I'm on the legal side of things, and I'm really looking to, branch off on my own. Well, a lot of people need help in that area. That's more attractive than I'm looking for people to help with the application process, right? So you do have to represent yourself and understand what your brand is. So it's really about, understanding where you want to go and the people you want to connect, and talking to everybody about it in a manner that is exciting, not demanding, if that makes sense, right? So, first rule, be upfront, don't be afraid, okay? And start talking about stories. What makes you interesting? This is a beautiful environment and network where everybody has cool stories, and there really isn't any judgment. There's people from every angle involved, whether you're wearing a bow tie to Birkenstocks. They're all in the same room now. So remember that. Don't be afraid to talk to anybody about anything. Okay. Now, getting into the business side of things, that's kind of where Green and Shy really, really thrives, being a resource to help people learn about getting into the industry, learn about the resources, because just like if you were in blockchain, you're in crypto, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Just like in any industry that's thriving, there's the good, the bad, and the ugly. So networking is the most important when it comes to businesses, because unfortunately, there isn't a way to really check everybody that's out there when you need help. And there isn't really a resource out there to let everybody know what they have available to them. So a lot of people, you really need to check into who you're working with. And networking is the best way, because just like business, the best business is referral business, because it's someone that you can count on. They've usually used their services, or someone that's vetted. And that's why it's really important when you're in the business to be proud of what you're doing. What is your message? If you don't know what your message is, sit the whole weekend and just get on the dry erase board and figure that out, because you should not be networking if you don't have a message. Too many times companies come and they have 7 different messages that they send. I can talk to 5 different people in the same company, and they all pitch whatever is their favorite part of the company. You have to have a unified brand, just like the people before me talked about, and you have to use that to your advantage, right? Get people excited about that message. Well, we really have a product with everything that's going on that's focused on the immune side. We're focusing on CBG, and we want everyone to stop worrying about their health by building their immune system. If everyone on your team said that, how excited would everyone want to be involved with you, right? And that's just an example. So uniform messaging is important, especially when you go to a networking event to represent the brand, because the goal is never to pitch and close at a networking event. When I go to a networking event, I don't even want people to know my pricing. I don't want them to know exactly what I do. I want them to know that I can accomplish the goals that I'm talking about, so that they want to talk to me afterwards, and we can talk in a more professional setting. Too many times people go, hey, are you looking for money? You're looking for this. No one's going to want to say that, especially in this category, So talk about what you do, so that when they're talking to someone else, oh, you really need to talk to Altan. He helps out with banking, or he helps out with marketing. That's what you want. And if you say that enough, well, let's face it, statistically, people are only going to remember 33% of what you say. I'm loud and boisterous, so maybe I'm in the 40 percentile, but still, you're not going to reach everybody. And it's important that if you tell everybody these things, that you follow up. People think that networking is just a lead grab and go. That's beneficial. Maybe you'll get 5. But the next big point is repetition, right? How many people that are following here have seen me at a networking event? I go to everybody else's, but I also host my own, because you want to be seen, but you want to say that same message to everybody that you can, whether it's for 30 minutes or for 2 hours, or it's another member of your team, which is beautiful, because if you have uniform messaging and missions, then it doesn't matter really who represents you, right? But it's the idea that every opportunity to go to an event, whether it's free or $20 or whatever it is, that is marketing to reach 200 people, right? So keep that in mind. Now, it's also important to use those same ideals for what you need, okay? So while you're talking to these people, you're talking about your mission. A lot of the times when you're talking about other people, well, what's next? What do you need? Don't be shy. Don't be ashamed. You're a growing business. Say, hey, you know what's difficult? Really understanding the application process. You know what's difficult? July 15th just passed. I don't know what to do about our taxes. I mean, I could do it myself, but this is cannabis. Ask those questions. People want to talk about them. Okay. So that's another big misconception. Okay. Is keeping those things. Talk about it. Don't give them your social security number. I mean, you can message me those if you want, but don't give those out directly. Okay. I'm just saying, talk about some things. People genuinely are willing to help others if they think they're genuinely interested in what they do. If you sound passionate about your goal, I will always help you. If I can't help you directly, I'm going to connect you with someone that can. And majority of the people that are out there are the same. So once you change the mentality to saying, how do I get these people to want what I have, instead of how do I connect with these people? How do I establish relationships? How do I tell them what I need? Because if they help me, well, maybe I can help them too, or vice versa. And that's more of the strategy. So if you're going to one event a month, well, no one's going to events now, but let's face it, when it comes up, you're going to one event, and this works for conferences as well. Okay. The strategy is just a little bit different, but you have to have that repetition and make sure you're representing yourself, correctly, because you are the brand when you're there. So if your company is laid back, then be laid back. If you're a lawyer and you're priding yourself on being, just polished and everything, make sure that's the branding that you have when you're meeting people as well. Okay. So that's about kind of half of the time. Feel free to message me directly if you need help with the actual events when they come by. Anyone on our team, we have a whole department for that to help other companies do that. But since this is the digital era and we don't know when this is ending, let's go to the other side. How can we transfer this face-to-face business networking into something that's beneficial, in the digital world? Well, it really depends on, like I said, what are you doing with your time? What are you looking for when you get out of it, right? A lot of the things are conceptually the same. You're just not able to build that rapport at the water station or the beer outing afterwards. It's all virtual. So what you really have to do is take that additional time that you might be spending networking, and let's use this type of platform as an example. Right? There's plenty of sponsors here. And this is one thing. Make sure you're going to digital conferences, digital fireside chats. By the way, we have a great one this Wednesday. If you guys we'll share a link later, but we have some exciting things. And that's what we did. We went from having networking events that were, a speaker, thought leadership, and about 400 people and sponsors, and panel discussions with thought leadership, to me and my co-founder, Dan Garms, who is the founder of the Cannabis Search Group. That's another resource for people looking to hire people for their companies. But we have a fireside chat, and that's really how you have to, diversify. How do you reach out to that same demographic and keep them captivated? So, doing things like that, finding something that is interesting to you and wants you to grow and develop. I mean, that's what this is really about. Proceeding in your career path, but also benefiting, building those skills. Now that you can't be social as much, use that time to make yourself better and go to some of these seminars. I mean, one of our partners, High Haven, for instance, if you're looking for a job, they have great training courses that are online. So instead of watching, Tiger King for the fifth time, you could be learning about the skills you need for, getting a job at Cresco or any of the big places on the cultivation side or the licenses. It's a lot of different tools. So the first thing I do, though, let's say you attended this conference, okay? The first thing you do is there's a list of exhibitors, okay? Well, if you go to those exhibitor lists, and usually there's a website, you can go to the About You page and find each individual person that was attending and all that. How many of you are following up on LinkedIn with a specific message saying it was great seeing you guys at the SPARKLIST? I enjoyed talking to you. We do this and this. Can we talk next Wednesday, right? There's a lot of people that get the information. I apologize for everybody that spoke, but they might get a lot of messages now. And that's the whole point of it, is to connect and understand, because if you connect to them a month later, they're not going to remember, exactly the details of everything. But if you connected with a point that maybe they hit, or maybe they have a service that you could use now or 6 months from now, make sure you establish that relationship now, so that when you need it, they remember you and they can acknowledge that. And you can actually ask them for advice up until then, because I don't know if they're like me, but a lot of the times people will always help you to get to the point to be a client or be someone that they can work with. So use that to your advantage, all right? This is about resources. Make sure that you're using the opportunity, because a lot of the people that are involved with, things like SPARKLIST or any other seminar or type of conference or anything virtual right now, they have to go through some kind of vetting. And there's a lot of information out there so that you can really find them and understand what they can provide you. But it's important to you that you establish that relationship and make sure that they're a vetted source to you as well. Okay. And don't worry, the day of waiting till you need something is over. There's a lot of competition out there. You need to prepare now. Okay. You need to prepare, because even if you're one of the people waiting for your application, once you have that application approved and you have a license, it's going to be a windstorm, and you're going to need to be prepared for it so that you succeed as you should and that you dreamed about, right? These are your dreams that you're trying to fulfill. So make sure you're hitting your goals by being prepared. And that's one of the big aspects of it. And it's the same thing with anything that you do online, okay? Follow up. And if you connect with them and talk to them, don't be afraid to connect them with other people. Let's say you can't do something right now for them. Well, that's okay. That's okay if you can't do something for them. But in the meantime, understand what they need and connect them with people so that strong relationship is even stronger when you do need them. Okay. And that's the trick of networking. The trick of networking isn't to reach out to people when you need something. It's to provide them contacts. I feel like I'm a walking Rolodex. I mean, some of the people that are in this conference will attest to that. Even at my own events, if I hear a trigger word, oh, you need to speak to so-and-so, you need to speak to so-and-so, and I'll literally walk you over there and connect you, because no matter what, you're going to remember me, and hopefully that's beneficial to you, right? And that's the beauty of networking. The more you do that, it's kind of that great opportunity for you to get the resources and people helping you when you need them, regardless if you need them in the end or not. It's that community and support. And that's why I feel the cannabis community is so great, is because there's so many groups, so many people to rely on that will help you through this process. Because there's a lot of things that are behind as far as regulations and information and knowledge. And that's why, groups like Supercritical are important, because they can take you by the hand and walk you through it. And same with some of the other groups that are out here. It's important that you find reliable advice avenues and consultations that can benefit you and the resources that you need. Okay. So before we end here, it's really important that, like I said, information and connecting. Don't be shy. Everybody is in front of their computer, okay? Unless you're in Chicago today. It's beautiful outside. There's a million people paddleboarding and everything. But during the week, everyone's working remote. More than likely, you're going to reach out to someone. And if it's a topic that's genuine and you're actually asking a question, not one of those bot automated things, they'll respond and they'll have a conversation with you. Just make sure you're keeping track of that, okay? So build that resource Rolodex through online networking. But let's jump into it, okay? Let's say that you want to engage your your own demographic, you have a topic, okay? We do a fireside chat. I'm going to use this as an example of how you can set things up, okay? There's a lot of resources out there right now, and whether it's someone that has starts off with 5 viewers or someone that has 500 or 5,000 viewers, anybody can do this. It's just something that's going to benefit you, right? Whether it's content, so that it's content out there building credibility for yourself or your company, or if it's being able to use something to connect with people, whether it's in Chicago or nationwide. Okay. So the first thing I would say is find a topic, find something that you want to connect with. If you're a recruiter, find something that shows promise in the category, whether it's, I mean, there's a lot of different positions for hire, especially in the cultivation side, for instance, right? Or if you're someone that is thought leadership like we are, find a topic and what you can do, okay? Start yourself off. I mean, I would go to something like Zoom, okay? Set yourself up with a free account. Now, what you can do, Ro, you can set up events on Zoom, okay? If you have an event, you can set it up. Here's ours for next Wednesday. We'll share this. We have, I would advise making a flyer. There's a number of resources that make that really simple. But, make a flyer, something that you can share. But right here is the importance. Why should they really follow this? Put a little summary in there. But once you have this, whether it's a simple invite to talk about something, simple invite to people you haven't talked about, this is ours. Obviously, this is a fireside chat. It's something that's very focused as far as what we're trying to do. What you can do then, right, is go to your Facebook page as well. Let me see if I can switch this. And this is important, right? Go to your Facebook page and create an event, right? Using that Zoom link. So it's very simple, right? This is how you can get, all your viewership to find you and connect with you on a Zoom, whether you want to do a group chat. You can depict the different types of opportunities that they have to speak with you or present to, but go right to your page, whether it's a personal page or here's our group page, here's our cute little super critical SPARKLIST thing. But you can create an event and then invite people directly to your Zoom invite, right? So this is something we do every Wednesday, right? You can do it whenever you want, but it's a simple 2-step process, right? Boom, bam, that's it. You go to Zoom, you create an event. I want to talk about business resources. You go to Facebook, you create an event on there, and you invite everybody, right? Okay. Now, I promised you something as well. Here's something a little additional that we have. If you want, this is free to people that have 1,000 contacts or less. One of our tools is Hubio Mail. Okay. If you are in our subscription, this is something that you guys probably get emails from regularly, but I'm giving this out to everybody that wants to have their own show, have their own little Wednesday or Tuesday little fireside chat. I just asked to invite me. I'd like to see it, right? So come to this tab, come to hubiomail.com, start for free. I mean, if you have less than 1,000 viewership, it's going to be free for you. But this is something that's going to help you build that, right? And in the meantime, the most important thing about networking online is going to be to make sure people remember you. I hope that nobody forgot me, but I'm loud, I'm everywhere. So other people need to stay in front of people, whether it's just something that's a useful tool or something exciting. See who wants to listen. Go out there. I implore you to find new ways to network during this. And, Green and Shy, just the last few minutes here, that's what we're about. In this community here, there's a lot going on in Illinois, especially Chicago. It can be very confusing, but where do you go to find the resources that you need? And that's what Green and Shy is about. Whether you're looking for a job or wanting to find out about the community here in the cannabis or CBD space, whether you're a business starting or waiting for your application to be accepted and getting a license, we have the resources. Or if you're, any kind of ancillary business, lawyers, CPAs, investors, we're here to help as well and connect you to the right resource. And specifically, with Green and Shy, if anyone in the business needs help with cannabis banking, if they need help with job placement, marketing, email automation, we can help with any of those things, as well as processing and things like that. So if you need anything, reach out to us. We can find us on LinkedIn, on Facebook. We'll have some contact information. My contact, as always, Altan, Altan at greeninchai.com. It's been a pleasure talking to all you guys. I really hope that everyone's sticking to their goals and really moving forward. And I'm going to leave us with a little exit video from our first event that we hosted last November, which we had the honor of having Toy Hutchinson speak at. And, really, it was a great time. So here's a little video there. I hope to hear from you guys, and I hope to see some invites to people doing their own networking chats during the weeks. Ciao for now.